Hey guys, how's it going? It's a beautiful day and I wanted to do this video to share. Actually, it's a more serious one. I've been guided to share this video on the false light grid, and for a lot of spiritual people that are hooked into it and don't realize, also for the people that are awakening and hearing stuff like, what's this false light grid? Am I in it? Am I out of it? Am I hooking into it? Am I channeling from it? Am I doing rituals from it? Where am I in the energy of it? My experience of myself in connection to it, almost going down that rabbit hole, being connected, my experience with being connected to some of the most beautiful souls, very advanced souls, very connected souls, but yet are still hooked into it, and in lots of ways I see on social media are still currently hooked into it. So first of all, I just want to say that anything that is a trap, anything that is false and not pure organic, they will bring 5 to 10% of the organic in, and the rest will be the false. So you may feel that but that's the truth, so this has to be right. Well, they'll bring 5 or 10% of the truth in so that you think that, and then they've got you hook, line and sinker. I had experience with the false light grid probably back 8 years ago, and I had to be really discerning, and this was before I was on, I think it was even before Instagram was a thing, when I was on Facebook, before a lot of people were talking about it. And back then there wasn't a lot of stuff deleted from Google, and you could actually research a lot more back then. That was the truth, people experiencing things, but more so I experienced it from my own healing work I was doing with clients that were hooked into it, hooked into AI, all that sort of stuff. So I guess I've had quite a knowledge of a lot of stuff that's out there that's part of all of that for a long time, and I have seen a lot of other people rise into their sovereignty over the last 10 years, and me included, that has evolved more. And I just see so many out there putting information, channeling in from this false light grid. And what it does is it's going to loop people's spiritual people that are doing their work and practices. It's going to loop them into that energy constantly, and you'll just feel like you're going around in a loop year after year. And then they'll just say, well, it's because this is happening with the energies. And mark my words, there are things, definitely it's all happening with the energies, but the false light grid will keep you hooked into that pattern. A lot of the Egyptian timeline stuff that we've been taught and shown and received messages about are also hooked into this false light grid. There's a lot of stuff, again, there is some truth, but there's a lot of it that is false as well. There is a whole other world beyond the physical 3D world that we're in, especially astral. There's a lot of shit in the astrals, and a lot of people think they're channeling pure organic source light and pure divine entities, and they're not. So I want to share how to be really discerning with that, and also not to judge. So first and foremost, going into your heart, that the first way, the main way, the only way I believe to tell is when you're not listening to people outside of you, right? You're not, you might watch stuff and that hooks us into the loop of that false light. And that's where I was starting to go down that path, and it just felt off. So I have connections with beautiful souls, out there, like, that were doing this sort of work online and everything, beautiful spiritual people delivering messages. And it wasn't that they're not beautiful, it's that unfortunately a lot of the stuff that they were hooking into and channeling was not from organic divine source. And first of all, I just want to say, while I am in this beautiful sunlight here, because we've had a few days without the sun, and the weather is changing all around the world, everywhere. We were in our summer. We still had a month to go. Totally off course here, but and it was like someone flicked a switch on the 1st of February when we went from this beautiful summer weather to cold, like going into winter weather. So anyway, we all know that well, most of us know that the weather is manipulated. We don't want to get into that here, but I'm just saying, while we're in this beautiful sunshine, I want to share and remind people that we are children of the sun, not of the moon. The moon is caught up in the false light grid as well, and that's why I don't get into full moon rituals and all of that sort of stuff. They are part of the false light grid. Again, there could be an ounce of truth in what's put out there, and then the rest is all false, and that's how it gets you in. That's how these darker entities get you in. And when I say darker entities, yeah, there are lower frequency entities, or entities that know what they're doing, that are hooked in to all of that fuckery. I'm not going to get into that because that's a big rabbit hole, but you know what I'm saying, to go down there. So I know I am an organic light being here, despite the colour of my skin, because there's a lot of this fuckery being put out there now that, you know, unless you're of dark skin, you're not a authentic soul or some rubbish. I don't know what it is. Us 144 and beyond, we've come back here with incredible wisdom. Old souls, we've all been. I've been a black person in past life. You know, it's not about that. It's about going, and this is what it's about dividing people. It's dividing people all around the world in so many different ways with all these topics, and it's about us really taking awareness that this true organic love is what we need to focus on to keep that higher unity consciousness. So I think we all agree with one thing, our spiritual light workers that are out there, no matter where we are, if we're hooked into some that are hooked into the false light matrix or not, we all want unity consciousness in the end. But it's just the way that there is so much out there that is false, that is directing people in the wrong way, and there is a lot of timelines that need to collapse, yes, so this has to be brought to our attention. But a lot of spiritual people get caught in it, and they go down that, and they fixate on it, and they stay in it, and then that's what they want you to do. They want you to stay in that instead of moving through it, having an awareness, collapsing that timeline, that paradigm, moving through it and moving to a higher consciousness. They want you to stay on social media talking about it non-stop, putting up videos, all the rest of it. So please be aware of that and conscious of that if that's where you are in your current energy and situation. However, what happens is, you know, we step up, and I've seen this in where I nearly got caught into that as well. We step into a higher consciousness and awareness because things just feel off, and that's how I started to feel. Things were just feeling off. I'd meet somebody and I'd start to work with them on a spiritual level and create things, and then I'd go, oh, it just feels off here, and I love you and I want to work with you and this is amazing, but it just feels off. I have just had an ability, I'm not standing here saying I'm better than anybody, I've just had an ability since I was a little girl, unknowingly, just to be able to hook into the truth of organic source, as opposed to what's felt fake to me. And as a little girl, I didn't understand why I was even feeling that, or to name it like that. And as I got older, that's how I realized my ego wanted to go one way, but my soul was so strong in the knowing of, you know, that's not organic. So because I've had that ability, it has actually steered me into the direction of knowing. Has my ego sometimes absolutely gone, nah, I want to do this? Yeah, sure it has. And that's where now in these times we really have to be discerning to follow what our soul and our higher self is showing us. So please be more mindful of the information you share, what you're hooked into, who you're hooked into. You might find a couple of people online that you resonate with, you know, right, yeah, I know they are hooked into divine source, organic power. And you know, a lot of channelings, a lot of people that are channeling what they're saying, light beings and all of this sort of stuff. So I'm not saying that's not possible to do, as in that there are organic, absolutely light beings and guides with us, but at the end of the day, it comes from within, and probably 99% of what people are channeling out there are hooked in and from the false light grid. So just be really mindful of that, you know, because you are projecting that. If you're not channeling from that, you are projecting that onto other people out there. And if you're listening to this and you don't do that, but you listen to other people, it's time to come back to yourself, your inner self. And I don't want to hear, I can't do that, I don't know how to connect, I don't know how to do that. Switch off your phone, switch off social media, sit with yourself, go meditate, whether it's a traditional way, walking along the beach, getting in nature, whatever, or just sitting in silence in your room, you know, lighting a candle and just feeling, doing your inner healing, feeling through all your crap. And unless you're willing to let your higher self show you where your ego has you trapped in unhealed and fear and limiting beliefs around things, and you know, you're not willing to listen to that, you're not willing to go deep in yourself and heal your trauma, unless you do that, then you are somewhat going to be hooked in through your ego to the false light grid. So I'm going to do a more extended video and put it on YouTube. I'm really, I'll be honest, I haven't really been passionate about talking about much spiritually lately on social media. I've just been really connecting in and doing my thing. However, I just feel really passionate now about speaking out about this. Look, in all honesty, I probably should have been doing it many years ago. Spirit showed me, as I said, like 8 to 10 years ago, a lot of this fuckery, and I feel like in one sense I was one of the original ones back then, that, because not many people were talking about it, that was meant to share. But for my own reasons, in my healing at that time, where I was in my consciousness, I didn't want to be judged and things like that. But anyway, that's all changed now. So anyway, I just want you to take care and get out in nature and really tune in. So you are the only one that knows. Stop listening to other people. Stop listening to channelings. Stop listening to, you know, other people out there that are saying what you want to hear. Just know it's not what you want to hear. It's about uniting together, because you know that is the organic truth. So there'll be your truth, my truth, his truth, her truth, but there's the organic truth, and that's what we need to, and that's going to bring unity consciousness. That is what's going to bring unity consciousness. So I'm going to be back with another video. I've got to go now, and I'll speak to you soon. Peace out, everybody.